Alright, well, welcome back to the Castlevania Ravenloft RPG. The last we left our heroes, they had quite an adventure, rummaging through a swamp away from the village of Vallaki. They left the long-anticipated festival that Baron Vargas Vlakovic was so eager to get underway. Apparently, that's his thing, is throwing these festivals, and they were long after due. A few witches have been given to the Baron on a list, but the party had been very meticulous in their efforts about persuading him to only sacrifice one of those witches and burning them at the stake, along with the giant sun wreath that they've been making over the time that you've gone into Vallaki. And they've been making this giant wicker sun, and all of the villagers have been bringing twigs and stuff to help construct this thing. Somewhere along the way, a witch was captured, and that witch left behind a little demon that you guys had once banished to a different plane, or at least Rictavio had, also known as Rudolf von Richten, actually, had banished that imp to another plane. But it came back with the witch. You found it in the map to the current location where you're at now, and that book was given along to the burgomaster of the village, and now a witch hunt is on the way. On the way there, you guys had met Elias's arch nemesis, Carmilla, the skull-riding vampiress, as she decided to leave the characters alone and instead head over to the village of Vallaki to watch the fun, as you could tell from the way that she was expecting the fun to be that she's probably expecting more witches to burn than one, so that'd be interesting to see how that pans out in the future. If only one was like you guys had striven for. Strove? I don't know the past tense of strive. What's the past tense of strive? Striven? Strove? Well, you guys had strived to only have one witch burn. We'll see how it turns out. But Elias had touched a certain monument to some statue of a female, and that brought about a bunch of zombies. As you fought them, venomous snakes poured out from their corpses and began to chase you through the woods, which you evaded. Thanks to a good bit of wisdom, you found your way through the marsh to the hidden ruins that you're now at. You opened the door to this old place, and when you did, you saw that weak daylight cast faint rays of colored light through the stained glass windows above the entryway. And just inside, you see this darkness. The hall seems to go on forever, beyond your vision. So this dark hallway extends before you, and you are in a you're in a bit of a chamber before it passes on to the next room. What do you want to do? No, unbeknownst to our heroes, behind them in the woods, some red eyes are glowing. But that was just a bit of out-of-character foreshadowing from the DM. They probably won't, but but we don't know anything about that. Yes, actually, I did mention that. There appears to be about a 10-foot gap in the floor that plunges into darkness below it. And this gap extends all the way from wall to wall, so there's no way you can navigate around it. You think that you might have to jump over it. And the way jumping works in Dungeons & Dragons is it's based off your strength score. And everyone here can jump 10 feet. The only person that can really jump 15 feet, or basically really over 10 feet, would be Elias, thanks to his strength. Yeah, Elias, you can jump 10 feet. Easy. You can jump 15 feet about without making any extra exerted efforts. Oh, that's totally up to all of you. Yeah, you guys have entered into the center of this place. If you want to go to the sides of it, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get over to the other side. But yeah, you can make your way over to the far wall or the near wall, really, either to your left or right, and start climbing around to get to the other side. However, your fellow companions wouldn't be able to follow you. Sure. Beyond you, you see damp. It looks like this place hasn't seen any sort of light for a long time. Mildew covers most of the wall. It looks really slippery. It doesn't look as dense here as it does further on in at the edges of your vision. On down the hallway, you hear the drips and droplets of water echo back to you. So it sounds like this might go on for quite a ways. Would you like to approach the edge? Okay. Once you get up to the edge and you start peering down the hole, you put your shield and angle it in a way that would best illuminate down in the hole. And you see that maybe 5 feet back from the hole, the floor continues to go down. And there's the 10-foot gap, of course. And it looks like it's hollow underneath that for about, as if the floor was about 5 foot thick. And it continues to extend beyond your vision. But the hole itself opens up, not far to where behind you is. It only goes maybe 5 feet behind you, but it extends a considerable distance in front of you. And as far as how deep it goes, you can't even see from the limits of your vision. Uh, J- Jack, you notice with your excellent roll there for perception that although the ground here looks very broken, the opposite side of it looks very sturdy. So you think that you could easily jump across this 10-foot gap without worry that it's going to crumble and fall beneath you. Interesting. I did not know that. We'll see how that works out. But, okay, so what order does everyone want to jump in? I want to hear first, second, third, and fourth. Okay. All right. It's athletics. But don't worry, your athletics aren't bad. They're not terrific, but they're not bad. Okay, so once everyone jumps across the hall, you hear something pretty crazy. No, not yet. Right, when you get into that room, on the far wall is an open archway, nearly as tall and as wide as this vestibule. Beyond the archway, a dimly lit room whispers to you the echoes of dripping water. There's a 10-foot wide gap in the floor that plunges... Oh, that's what I read last time. Yeah, that's the room you just jumped over. Okay, yeah, so this room, when you jump over and you get about halfway through it, the ground beneath your feet shudders gently at first, then rumbles and quakes as you hear something huge charging the building from where you came in. Stained glass and rubble explode towards you with a deafening roar. A demon bull-like beast larger than any living thing you have ever seen growls at you with glowing red eyes and then charges. Yes. So you see explode into the room is this giant behemoth. Yes, these sprites are courtesy of Mario Santos, aka the Plot Twist, who works on the game Umbra of Shadows, fan game for Castlevania, Demon Wars stuff. So we'll all have to thank Mario for his work here on these sprites. As they all begin flipping around. Okay, and as far as our behemoth here, yes, the behemoth explodes into this room and charges everyone. No, it's certainly not. All right, so everyone roll for initiative. Quit flipping my behemoth, you bastards. Jack, you rolled a 1? Oh, Jack. I rolled a 1. Reroll. Actually, what's your dexterity modifier? Okay, you win. You'll go before it does. It does. Okay, so Mr. Jeeves, you will be the first to act, and you see beyond you is the end of this room. It looks like it opens up into another, but you'd have to get farther on down before you see. I wonder if I can lock... I need to lock this client view. I think it is locked. You can't pan farther ahead, can you? Okay, in that case, I'll reveal... what's your vision with Brent's light? I think so. Oh, that's it? I'm gonna say you guys can see about this far in. It's right on your tail. I mean, it's right there. I mean, there is no room. If you make a mistake, it's going to catch you. And you can scroll to the right now. What I mean by that is in the bottom right of the map, you will see a little icon thing that looks like a plus sign. If you hold that and drag it right, you can pan to the right to see a little farther ahead of you. Oh, okay. I did not know my mouse wheel could do that. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, to help out with distance, I have some special markers. I'll go ahead and make those visible. Let's see. Here's a 60-foot marker you can move around. You can just, place it to a whatever foot there and then move yourself. Sure. Yeah, April, you can't like run straight up on the same spot as him. I think that you were in front of him when you started. All right, so just in front of him, yeah. All right, so that's everyone's movement. Well, as soon as Elias gets as far as he got, you guys could see a bit more. So I'm gonna update your view to reflect that. In this room, at the top of this room is a small open window with a lever just beyond. The far end of this room is closed off with a set of thick iron bars. I don't like how we can't see behind us, so I'm just gonna share everything. I'm gonna unlock the client view. If you want to look too far ahead, hey, I guess you can spoil it. But that's just, yeah. But I'd like you to see behind yourselves. All right, so that's what you guys see as the behemoth then takes its turn and pretty much catches up with everybody. I'm gonna say, Mark, you're about there. And the behemoth is going to move 60 feet as well, so it's going to end up right behind Jack. It's very small. It would take a small creature to fit through it. No. Yeah, you're in the center. It would take a while to get to the walls, in this room anyway. You don't think that vertically you can make that jump? Yes, you see just it's right behind you. Yes, it would. Using an action like that would definitely do so. Yes, you can. Mr. Jeeves, you can delay your turn and then take it before the behemoth moves if you want. But what would you like to do? Delay your turn? Alright, Alexandra, is there anything you want to do? One standard action. Into the half or Raven? Can you fly as a hybrid? I don't know. You can't. Can you? As a hybrid? Damn. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Apparently, I didn't realize you could fly as a hybrid. But sure, yeah. You think that you might be able to reach the handle, but pushing the handle might be a different story there. Well, I think Alex said that she was going to run for her turn, and it is her turn right now. Do you want to go ahead and proceed about 60 feet? Okay, I'll just go ahead and put you up there. Alright, and then Elias, you would be next after Alexandra. What do you want to do? If you ran as fast as you could, you get just in front of where Alexandra stopped. Jack hasn't. Jack's last on the initiative list. But you can delay your turn though. Okay. Alright. Then Jack, it's your turn. Unless Mr. Jeeves wanted to take his now. Awesome. Okay, so Jack, it is now your turn. You begin to change. Are you going Raven or hybrid? Okay, with hybrid, you turn into your hybrid form, and you think that you can reach far enough to touch the lever, but not really push it. The frog on the stick presses tough against the lever and pushes it just a little bit, but slips, and the lever slams back into place. Also, Jack, from here you see that the room that this lever occupies is also closed by some kind of bars. 1 second as I take a small biology break. Hey. Can I use a bathroom? Come on, I gotta go.
You shouldn't be drinking that much beer. You may like it now, but you'll regret it later.
sweetie. Okay, I'm back. My bladder's lighter. A small creature could definitely get in there. Jack, do you want to squeeze through as a hybrid? Just try to force your way in? All right, I will accept that. Go ahead and roll a. Let's see, what's appropriate. No, it's more of a check than a save, but I think that it would be. I want to go with acrobatics, just simply because that's the closest thing to a contortionist. A 22. Okay, well, I can't really argue with that. Okay, well, Jack squeezes through, and let's see, it was an action to get there. You have enough. You have your use an object as a free action ability left. All right. So you throw the lever, and as soon as you do, the bars on the other side of the room that the small room that the lever's in, that opens up, and then on the other side, where the bars are on the other side of the room, those open up. Alright, so that was your standard action and a movement. The movement was over 30 feet, though. Let's see. Yeah, I think I gave you guys a freebie as a mistake. Because Jack's standard action only allows him to move... No, okay. You said it was 50 feet. Yes, it's actually 50 feet on a full movement, or just every turn. So you can move 100 feet. Are you kidding me? If all you do is move around, you can move 100 feet in one round? Okay. Birdman. He's a freaking Birdman, yeah. Or Man-Bird. Or both. Okay, well, yeah, then that's fine. I didn't give you a freebie at all, actually. Those bars lift up, though, Jack, so they're no longer in your way. In fact, let's see. If you move 50 foot, you could be about... Alright, so it is the Behemoth's turn, and it ends up 60 feet, right about here, barreling down the stairs before it ends up... hey, quit shrinking the Behemoth. Alright, so next up will be Mr. Jeeves. I didn't put it there. It's 5 feet behind Mr. Jeeves. Right, that's the 5 feet. No, he's not within... Would you like to try? It's hard to see from where you're at, but because it's up the stairs. Do you just want to run up to the top of the stairs? All right. Okay. So that's a good amount. That's a good bit of your movement, but from here, you can get some details on the next room. This room begins with a 20-foot gap in the floor, so 20 foot's farther than you can jump. The ledge at the sides of this room look too narrow to traverse. A set of iron bars seal the archway at the end of this room, just like the other room, but you it'd be kind of hard to see from there, but yeah, there may be a lever down there. Yeah, you do see a big 20-foot hole. Mm-hmm. Even Brent can't jump the length of this hole. 15 foot was the maximum he could jump, but 15 foot is the diameter of the hole, so he would end up on the wrong side of that 15 foot. Yes, this room is a bit more narrow than the previous one. Okay, in that case, you can run until you're about here. In the hole, actually. Yes. Alright, so next up. Now, how did you... Okay, so that was your 60 foot of movement, Mark. Was there anything else that you wanted to do with your turn? Alright. I think I'm going to use a roll of wisdom save. Yeah, go ahead and just for my own DM purposes here. 17's pretty good. Mr. Jeeves is quite comfortable with movement. He thinks that maybe his experiences lend more to just moving twice in a round. You're able to do other things other people aren't with your profession. But you only have a couple of seconds because that behemoth is barreling down this hallway. He did move 30 feet and then 30 feet. 30 feet is his movement. Alright, so next up is Alexandra. What do you want to do? Oh god, are you serious? Okay. Well, Alexandra gets to this point. You see a 20-foot gap in front of you. You're running at full speed. Your strength isn't your best attribute. However, if you want to jump that jump, roll a strength check. Or, not check. Yeah, check. Roll a strength check if you want to jump that. You do not even see the bottom. It's very dark this far away from Brent. This is a classic Vania. Alright. Not a save, Alexander. It would be a check. But, you just... I don't know. Like everything that I said before about how people only Brent... Like, not even Brent. I don't know. Like, why? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? You're killing me. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Oh, God. Okay. Well, that's fine. Discord is working, though, right? You don't have to disconnect. I just want to make it extra clear here. In case I didn't before. That not even... Okay. I mean, if you want to jump into a fucking hole, I'll let you do it, but... That sounds. You know what? She's wanting to roll dice and stuff. Yeah. Okay. That's what's going to happen here. Jeeves. Okay, you're down in a hole. No, it's too late, dear. I like Brent's idea that it doesn't have to be the DM that bails you out here. It could be your faithful butler. All right, so just for the record here, you've made a bad decision. And you're falling to your death. You're in the hole now. You didn't make it. And Jeeves, you have an opportunity here to save her from certain death, and God knows where her body would be after this. Yes, you can try. What would you like to use to do so? All right. Stop it! Stop rotating my wall. That's how I covered the bars. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's how I hid the bars. Okay. So before you can try, go ahead and roll. That's what I was asking, is what you wanted to use to roll. I mean, I know you want to grab her with your hands, but you think this would be more of a reflex save or a strength check? Because you're going to have to... Well, I mean, she's chose in her turn to jump into the pit. So... That lever is far too far away out of her threatening range there with that whip. It's got a 10-foot... that whip has a 10-foot reach. That lever is a good 20 or 25 feet away. Into a giant hole, and now Jeeves has to catch her. What's the cool idea, Brent? To grab onto it? The whip's too far away. As much as I would love that, I don't think it's going to help her here. It's too far away. Well, I'm going to say it's going to be a dexterity check, not a saving throw. Just roll a d20 and add your modifier for your dexterity, and we'll see if you can grab her as she's falling. That's terrible. Brent, do you want to use your... You're currently the only one with inspiration. You can give that to another player. That will give him advantage on the roll. Holy shit. Wait a minute. Well, yeah, but... The advantage would have been... That's fine. I'll go ahead and accept it. But I'm just saying, whenever you do something and then I let you roll advantage on it, that means you get to re-roll it, right? So basically, you've made 3 rolls here. You made a 6, a 9, and a 20. But the 20 is pretty impressive. But because you didn't quite do it legit, I'm going to require one more roll, a dexterity roll from Alexandra to grab your hand as you're grabbing for hers. Alex, it's all up to you. Your destiny is now in your own hands, as it was before you decided. It's a check. It is not a save. It's not a save. This is what you're trying to do, not save against something that's trying to do something to you. Yeah, that's it. All right. Okay, well, I normally have my soundboard working to where I can do Castlevania death music. Yeah, that would, yeah, or the fall noise, which would be appropriate here. As Jeeves sees Alexandra plummet to her death, it's a good couple of seconds before you hear a sickening crunch. It sounds like somewhere far below you, she has hit something. But she's gone. Alexandra is gone, everyone. Elias, it is your turn. Yeah, you hear Jeeves cry out in... I don't know. Yeah. It doesn't sound good ahead of you. Mm-mm. Alright. So, Elias runs to the edge of the gap and sees the look on Jeeves' face as it peers down into the darkness at his fallen comrade. Jack, what would you like to do? You're still in hybrid form. Alright. You pull the lever, and the bars close down in front of, or right behind Elias. I don't think you can, actually. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. All right. Jack, is there anything else with your turn? I had Rhonda ready. I had Vampire Killer ready. That's what I wanted to do with this, but I got preoccupied. I'm sorry. Here, let me do it. Yeah. All right, Jack. Was there anything else? Well, you have enough left in your turn to try to squeeze through if you'd like. Okay. Alright, the behemoth continues to barrel down the hallway, up the stairs, and smashes through the bars. The bars slow him down just a little bit, but he is just on Elias's tail after destroying the bars. The bars are now completely destroyed. It doesn't matter if the lever's going to bring them up at this point. Ooh, hey, I guess the 45-degree angle. It's something like that, maybe? Yeah, kinda. It kinda works. Your dangly little legs there. All right. Mr. Jeeves. You see a lever down there. Hey, baby, I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd try. You can't tell. It was a long way before you heard it crunch. She can't talk. She's dead. Mr. Chiefs, you hear an explosion as the behemoth destroys the bars somewhere up above you. Yeah, Elias, you can actually see on the other side there are bars that are closed at this point that prevent your passage. Yes, the hole definitely prevents your passage. You could tie it to the lever. Oh boy. Are you sure? Alright, Jeeves decided what he's going to do. He scurries across the walls with his spider climb, reaches the lever, and grabs on it and pulls. It seems to be jammed. It hasn't been used in a long time. Please roll a strength check. Excellent. 20. The lever clicks into place, and Elias, right before you, a bridge extends out and closes the gap between Elias and the rest of the floor. Jeeves, that was your use an action, or like not use an action, but interact with an object for the turn, so you can continue to move if you'd like. You think you might be able to get up on the other side. Okay. When you do that, you also notice that the bars on the other side have also lifted. Have they... I'm trying to set their visibility. Oh, why? Okay, there, I did it. Quit rotating my walls. Next up will be... Well, Alexandra's dead. Sorry. Hey, it was your bad decision, not me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Alexandra. I'm so sorry. Elias, what would you like to do? You don't have time for that. You have no time for conversation right now. There is a giant behemoth right behind you. Well, that's up to you. You tell me, do you want to try to jump at that point or not? It's only 10 feet. You think that you can jump it, but it's going to exceed your movement speed. So... as far as rules go, I'm going to leave it up to you to tell me what you think you would want to do when you reach the edge here. Hey, he actually succeeded, just for the record. You failed. Brett, are you jumping or not? Yeah, Jeeves, quit moving yourself. You ended your turn right there. I know, but you didn't have that room to make. Alright, fortunately, jumping, you don't have to jump exactly in the same spot that he's landed, so... I'm going to say Elias... No, you can't end your same space over there. This is 2D versus 3D, so we're going to say it's 2.5D, and we're going to move Elias 5 feet in front of Jeeves. Just for simplicity. And then it will be Jack's turn. Alright, Jack. What are you doing? Jack, you held your turn, actually, didn't you? Can't remember what Jack did. Did we lose Logan? Please, God, no. Yes, go ahead. Mike? No, Mike's right here. What? No, I'm right here, guys. Why? Why am I muted? What the fuck? Can you hear me now? Alright. I don't know what happened, man. Logan, though, is Logan with us? It is your turn. Did you hold a turn? What? I'm not sure exactly what happened. Okay, so you throw the lever, and the bars that are all mangled, they go up as far as they can before the mangled bars stop where they can't naturally go into the holes that they were made to. No, those go up so that you can pass. Alright, so you have 50 feet of movement left. Well, you moved right to the lever, that's fine. And that's using an action. So yeah, about 50 feet. He's actually ahead of you. You can end up about where the bars ended. So about here. Yeah, you actually don't think it has enough room to do so. If it really wanted to, you think it could, but you kind of end at the top of the room where you're at. The bars have raised completely. Coming back up? No, not really. There may have been some bent kind of away from him because he hit them. But anything towards him that would have like hooked into him and brought him to the ceiling, no, because he pushed them away. Right. So it's the Behemoth's turn now. And it moves about here. Alright. Next up is Mr. Jeeves. I need Vampire Killer going constantly here. I wish that there was a bot command to loop that song. I'm just gonna copy and paste it like a bunch. I'm gonna server mute myself. That's probably what did it last time. Okay, yeah, that's what did it, guys. Is because I keep server muting myself because I keep pasting the same song in over and over. Oh, I gotta turn that feature off on the bot. I don't want anybody to be muted for spam. No, still even that wouldn't work out for this. All right, so it is Mr. Jeeves' turn. All right, you've moved already. The atmosphere from this room forward feels much thicker. A thin slime makes many surfaces appear slippery. At the far end of this room is a 15-foot wide gap in the floor. A lever is on the floor just on the other side of the gap. Alright, so Mr. Jeeves has already moved. Mr. Jeeves, would you like to do anything else with your turn? You've moved 60 feet. While you think about that, I'm going to get another beer. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Mr. Jeeves, was there anything else you'd like to do before your turn ends? Alright. Next up is Elias. I like to put it like right on your foot so you can see where your foot would land. Alright, so Mr. Jeeves, you see Elias dash in front of you. And then far behind everyone else, Logan, what would you like to do? Right. You don't know what has happened with Alexandra. Below you, somewhere, her body rests. But all you heard... Yes, you heard a scream as she fell. And then you saw this close. Right. Right where you're at. Yes, right in front of you. Okay. Alright, so it's the Behemoth's turn, and it's going to move... It's 60 feet. Not sure how everyone kind of got in front of it there. Fair enough, fair enough. It did, that's true. No, it can jump over that easily. Its strength is a lot more impressive than yours. And you can jump 15 with no problem. Jack might have that option. But, Mr. Jeeves, it is your turn, so what would you like to do? Okay, this... Alright, so you're going to attempt to jump the 20-foot gap. No. 20. Oh, 15. 15. Yes, you jumped a 10-foot gap earlier with no problem. Brent's strength score allows him to jump 15 feet with no problem. However, you, on the other hand, would have a problem. All right, so your dex modifier is 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a 20-foot gap's not going to be in your capability. 15. I'm sorry, a 15. Well, I mean, it's not untrue. A 20-foot wouldn't either. But the point here that's relevant is that this 15-foot gap is not something you should try to jump. Damn it. I don't want any more players jumping to their death. You could go. You could try. So, roll a wisdom save. Jesus Christ, you guys are giving me gray hairs. So okay, so you just want to hang out down there? Okay. That's fine. Elias, you poor son of a bitch. My ass. Elias, it's your turn. Alright, you successfully jump the gap and get to the lever. And you throw the lever. When you throw the lever... No. It's too late, dude. The bars in front of you, they go up. And, well, actually, there weren't even bars in front of you. You guys are doing terrible. This is awesome. Okay, Elias, you still have movement left. Not you. Elias, you can continue to move to the 60 foot if you'd like. Oh, you could. It would stop your movement, though, because that would be part of an action. Yes. It's not. It's not. But this is why I love D&D. The unexpected happens. There was a way, I'm just saying, for the record though, guys, there was a way for this to end up perfect where no one took any damage. But that didn't happen, so let's keep going. Oh, I didn't move it, someone else did. But you can make it, if you want to keep moving without switching the lever, you can make it to about here. Alright. Alright, so Elias throws the lever. An extension juts over the hole that Mr. Jeeves hid under and is now trapped. Mr. Jeeves, you are in total darkness. You can't see anything. And Jack, it's now your turn. Here, I'll move the... Yeah, he's a hybrid. That's all up to you. Jack, there's not a lot of room to decide. This thing is moving. Yeah, you don't. Alright, how far would you like to fly? Alright. Did you want to grab the tail or leave the tail alone? You think that you're a lot faster than this thing if it's not moving. Like, I mean, if you're both running. Okay. he rolls his... what does your wisdom tell you that you need to do? Interesting. Okay, alright. No grabbing for the tail itself. Alright, at this point the behemoth moves. And I need to cue up more music. Good God. Actually, I want to grab the whole... let's see if we can't play the entire soundtrack to Rondo at this point. It is. It's processing 24 songs. Great. Alright. This is not how I imagined things would go, for the record here. It is. I gotta say that player deaths usually result in the best stories ever. So, although I thought that this would be epic enough from a Castlevania standpoint, and that we're using Fantasy Grounds from a side view, like, all of those things had me hyped. But whenever a player dies, that always leads to great stories later. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but I thought I made it extremely clear that you could not make that jump. Anyways, alright. There's no way you could have made that jump. I'm just saying that a check wouldn't have helped the impossible. Like, you can try to lift a mountain too, but a strength check's not going to make it happen. Okay, so the behemoth moves, and it gets about to the lever. Elias, this giant behemoth is chasing right behind you. You see none of your friends at all. You just hear this gigantic force of death and destruction right behind your heels. Mr. Jeeves, do you want to do anything down there in the dark? Okay, that's what Mr. Jeeves is doing with his turn. And Elias, what do you want to do with yours? Uh, let me just let me describe the room. This isn't going to be good, guys. Fuck. This room features a 20-foot wide gap with a lever on the other side. A golden winged ornament holding a ring that looks as if it may have once been the anchor point for some kind of chain protrudes from the wall halfway above the gap. Below it, a precarious bed of spikes await the flesh of an unlucky intruder. So, she jumped down a hole and died. So, Elias, I have bad news. No, there's no reset button in D&D. Elias, before you see a gap that is too long for you to jump. What are you going to do? Yes, beyond your range of jumping. Okay. You think that thing is too short? You don't think you can make it? You can jump to the hook, but once you get to the hook, you don't think that you could swing across with a crowbar. Like, common sense would tell you that it's not a swinging type. Yeah, you would just kind of like grab it with the hook. You'd pry it into the circular part of it and just stop. You do have rope. You are running out of time to tell me what you want to do. There's nothing on the crowbar that would stop the crowbar from slipping right out of the knot you tie. But you can try it if you want. If this is what you want to do, you just say, yes, this is what I want to do, and we'll do it. There's always a chance. Brent, what do you want to do? Hurry. Alright, so you're going to attempt to use rope, and the rope is going to require a dexterity check to tie the knot. So first, I need a dexterity check. Not save, just your modifier plus a d20 there, you know, for your dexterity plus your d20. Oh boy. Okay, so that's an automatic failure. As you pause, and well, not pause completely, but as you slow your pace to try and tie a rope around your sword, you realize you cannot tie a rope around the sword. It's not going to work. All right, so your use object is done for this round. What would Elias do? He's about to get caught by this thing before he has a chance to answer. Because this is a chase scene, and he's about to get hit. 5. Slide underneath it? Sure, okay. So Elias turns and begins running towards the behemoth. Roll a dexterity check. Yeah, dexterity. This is not the worst idea I've heard tonight. Right, just roll a d20 and then add the modifier for your dexterity. Yes, okay. Instead of sliding underneath it, he ends up right into the horns of this thing. Alright, actually, let me do your armor and stuff actually is in a consideration here. I can't fucking believe it. Alright. No. I rolled a 4. Even with the +6 that I get. You don't slide under it, but it doesn't damage you. You manage to shield yourself just as you bounce away from one of its strikes with its horns. You take no damage, but you feel that you got very lucky trying to slide under this charging beast, that you weren't completely just smacked right now. Jack, it is your turn. Jack, you are up in the air behind the behemoth. You want to grab the tail? I think, yeah, that's what I heard, but I just can't believe what I'm hearing. You think that you could fly over it if you wanted to. Okay, I couldn't mark exactly where you were to begin with. Do you remember where you were? I think you're farther than that. Okay, let's see. Okay, when it was 60 feet... Alright, when the behemoth was 60 feet earlier, you were right on its tail, and it was exactly here. So that means you were here. And now the behemoth is here. And 60 foot for you, even though 60 foot isn't your movement speed, your movement speed is 100, right? Total? Alright, so 50 would be about here. And another 50... Yeah, I'm gonna say he's about here. Does everybody agree with that? All right, Elias, you try to slide under the behemoth, only to be rocked by one of its horns. You bring your shield up in time, just enough to not take damage from it, and then you see Jack fly above the behemoth as some kind of raven-like creature. Jack, when you transformed, all of your belongings dropped. So everything that you had aside from your cloak is gone. And yeah, that's I love the way that Elias is placed right now. And now that the behemoth gets to take its action. And it is going to gorge Elias with everything it's got. First of all, it pushes you. Make a strength check. No, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, that's fine. All right, you are pushed. Here, I like the way you're kind of under it last time. We'll keep that. You're pushed and you take damage. Well, I don't know. Your shield may have helped. Let me make the attack roll first. Okay, so you're not damaged because your AC is redonkulous, but you bring up your shield. Well, you keep your shield in the same place where it was on the horn of the behemoth, and it begins pushing you and scooting you towards the pit of spikes. But it doesn't quite get you that far as you resist it. Elias, it's your turn now. What would you like to do? So you're going to try to climb the enemy. Roll a dexterity check. You are unsuccessful. You think that maybe the only thing really that you have left time to do after attempting that is use some movement speed if you'd like to get away from it, but that would be closer to the spikes. Unless you have some kind of reactionary spell or something. A reaction's probably the best thing you can do. Oh, as it is pushing you, though, it does knock you prone. Well, the action was trying to climb up it. Yeah, and your movement can actually stand you back up if you'd like. Okay. Alright, so you recover from the thing trying to push you as far as it can and gouge you with its horns. You successfully defend against it with your shield. Jack, it's your turn. Yeah. Underneath and behind it? When you flew up, you can see in front of it, yeah, there's a lever. Below it. Oh. Oh, it's kind of like standing on top of it at the moment, so you can't really get to it. Okay, so Jack moves or flies about 60 feet and then uses his use item action to throw the lever. And the lever opens the. Well, no, it closes the gap that Elias was facing. Yeah, if you would have held your action, you could probably move now. But you didn't. So, next up will be the Behemoth. Oh, actually, no, it's not. That was only 60 feet of his movement. You have another 40 feet that you can move. I'm going to say from here, that would be... Alright, you can... Right, you can do so to about here. Alright. Let me do its attack. Even though it's a +6 to hit, Elias has an insane amount of AC. Alright, it rolled a 17 total modified, and your AC is 18? Oh my god, okay. But it still pushes you. Regardless, it doesn't hit you. It pushes you as far as the lever is, though. And now, Mr. Jeeves, you're still stuck in the darkness. What would you like to do? Would you like to light it? Alright. You find that the further you go down, the smell of mildew and rot increases. You think that, let's see, as far as your vision can see, there was a supporting pillar that kind of hoisted this place up in the foundation. But you can navigate around that if you wanted to move back further from where you came to search for Alexandra's corpse. Or you can move forward, but you think that that's a dead end because it's all walled off. Alright. Yeah, well, you can't quite move that far without using your dash. Use your fucking dash. You could have used your dash this whole time, but no, you haven't. You've been moving 60 feet. Anyways. No. Alright. So, next up is Elias. What would you like to do? No. It's so big you think that it might be able to react to that. But you see that a spiked portcullis looms ominously in the entryway of the next room. Not far beyond that is a lever. The room then opens up into a high domed-shaped ceiling with a door on the other side. Alright. Jack, your turn. Yes, Jack could get to the lever. You want to pull it now? Yeah, you're not there. Jack, what do you want to do? Jack Motley, the Motley Fool. Said pull the lever. Are we pulling the lever? I don't know if Logan just can't hear us or... I'm just saying that I just heard pull the lever, so... What's the magic word? He didn't say. Oh, where's our Logan at? Logan, are you there? I did. Yeah, I did. All right. After how long? We've got it on tape, buddy. This is recorded. We have a disconnected player though. Okay, where have you been? Okay. Jesus Christ, dude, you're giving me a heart attack. Elias said hold on to wait to pull the lever. You said pull the lever. Are you pulling the lever now or are you waiting? Alright, you're holding. Alright, well, Jack, the behemoth is running towards you at full speed. What would you like to do? It's getting closer and closer. Discord's about to kill everybody. Okay, thank God. The lever is not quite oiled and it needs a strength check. A 14. Excellent. Okay, the lever gives under your strength. The spiked portcullis drops instantly, plunging down upon the behemoth's back. The roar of pain before unconsciousness takes the beast leaves your ears ringing. The red glows of its eyes are still fixed on you as they slowly dim with death's hateful stare. So the portcullis comes down onto the back of this thing, just as it gets close enough to overcome each of you, actually. But you move out of the way as it is impaled by these spikes and dies. So now what you have is Jeeves on the other side of this closed off area where the behemoth is now impaled beyond. What is this light source? You lit a lantern? It goes down further and further. It won't be your next turn. Does anyone else want to take a turn before Jeeves continues to search? You can't. The portcullis is blocking your path, along with the giant beast. So you want to try to raise it while it's impaled through this thing's body? It's not strength of pulling the lever that's the issue. It's that these things weren't meant to penetrate a beast like this. And they can't really lift something of this weight. Yes, because the way that they're designed is like an arrow. They can puncture through it easier than they can pull back the opposite direction. Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Jeeves, if Jack didn't want to take any turns, you you can find the body of your friend. You find you find Alexandra has fallen to her death. All of her possessions and her body are laying at the bottom of this very deep and dark pit. You see various other bones and whatnot around you. No shiny bones. Nothing of interest. There's no greatness that comes from finding treasure down here other than that of your previous companion. All right. You find that the weight is very encumbering while you try to bring her back up. Normally, you wouldn't be able to carry someone's weight as you use your spider climb slippers. But in this special instance, I'll allow you to just take the amount of time it takes to find actual climbing footholds and use that to assist you. But when you come up to the place where you willingly climbed under, you find that it is closed off and that any exit is sealed. You're still in complete darkness aside from your lantern. Oh, well, okay. The hole Alexandra fell in was not right. That one was closed, but there was another hole. If you didn't try to go up the way that you went, there was a smaller 10-foot diameter hole. Or not diameter, actually it ran the full length of the floor. But the 10-foot wide gap there in the floor, you can bring her up. So you have recovered her body and you are now on solid ground. Okay, well, eventually you'll reach the back of the behemoth, but that's going to take some time as you carry her body. Jack and Elias, you find yourselves in a very interesting room. It looks like this is some kind of sacred space. In the center of this room is carved out a giant circle, and here you see, it looks like as at one point it was dedicated to some kind of natural spring. You see the water there from this spring is still warm. It seems as if this was some kind of dedication to nature. You feel that this place was a bit holy. Holy in the fact, not of holy as in Christ holy, but as in this was sacred ground. Earth that was appreciated. Using your paladin powers, you may sense that this place has been corrupted, yes. No one else but you could really detect that, though. Uh, Speak of the devil, Mr. Jeeves, you have found the ass end of the behemoth. It looks like the ass end is what took most of the brunt of the damage. It's been impaled basically through its lower torso. You find Jack trying to use acid to burn through the beast, and the back half of it is becoming quite skeletal at this point. You think that as far as the flesh and bones of it go, the bones won't require much of the portcullis to rise through, but you think it's going to take quite a bit of time to do that. You think something smaller could fit through the bars, but you don't think that this thing's going to be able to raise without quite a bit more of this acidic magic. The bars, yes, they go down farther than the floor. They go into the floor. Right, they went completely through it and are into the floor. Okay. Well, secondly, the site that you're in, after praying for the dead friend of yours, roll a wisdom check. Yes, you feel that your prayers are unanswered, and there's a distance there between you and God. You may have to try again after some time. And during that time, the whole time, Jack is trying to cast this acid splash at the behemoth. At what level spell is that? Alright, luckily cantrips can be cast repeatedly, correct? So you're just a acid fountain at this point, really? Okay, so as Elias is praying, Jack is consistently casting acid splash at the body of this behemoth, and it begins to deteriorate further and further, the skeletal bones of its back end becoming only more and more apparent. But it will give us enough time for another check from Elias's wisdom. There we go. A natural 20. You think that the... well, first of all, what's up with this music? No, Rondo is an amazing game. If people want Castlevania 2, what they really need to play is Rondo. Because that's the prequel. It's the prequel you never got that you always wanted. You should play it. As far as the music, though, it's amazing, but this needs to be skipped. That's what we needed earlier, when Alexander decided to jump into a pit. Sorry, I'm going to start the soundtrack over again. Okay, so Elias, you begin praying, and you realize that, yes, the Tomb of Strahd seems particularly useful at this point, and you realize in your wisdom that as this place was corrupted by Strahd, maybe there's an answer that lies within the Tomb of Strahd. So you begin to read it. By the time that you make progress on it, though, Jack will have more time to deteriorate the corpse. Yeah, there's quite a bit of work in front of you for completely disintegrating the back half of this thing. And just out of character, I'm trying to find out the last entry that you had in the Tomb of Strahd. That is useful. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. So you will unlock that as well. But before I read any of that, your wisdom in the Tomb of Strahd here, it catches your eye as you flip through the pages about one of the rituals that he used to corrupt the land. And it's this ritual you think that you can perform in a reverse fashion, making prayers instead of the alchemy that was performed, drawing the same shapes but inverting them. All of this geometric stuff can be done in a way that you think will purify this area. It will just take some time. And in that time, Jack will be able to deteriorate the back half of this behemoth enough to raise the bars and get Jack and the corpse of Alexandra back through. So, yes, so everyone's back together. While deciphering this, you also happen to decode enough of the Tomb of Strahd to release the next entry, which says, Tatiana expected Sergei in the castle chapel, but I stood in his place. She asked where her fiancé was, and I told her that he had been killed, and his final wish was for me to wed her in his place. That he wished her to be Tatiana von Zarovich and continue his line only in the only way now possible. In grief she wept. Perhaps my employment of her misery was somehow seen on my face, as she saw immediately through my ruse. I tried to tell her she was mad with grief, as she climbed higher to the parapets to escape me. I told her that she was to be mine, and her only reply was to throw herself off 1,000 feet down to her death. My vow to Sergei was that she would be mine, and it haunts me still. Her body was never found, and I, myself, infatuated with never being able to complete my spite against my brother. Elias, you can either continue to read the tomb and decipher it at this point, or you could perform the ritual. Tomb, yes. All right. Yes, you're all together now. The bars have been lifted. Jeeves, Alexander's body, Jack, and Elias are all together at this pool of what seems to be this entire construction of this building seems to have been built around this one pool. Yeah, you're... He's not completely naked. He has his cloak that he can pull around him. It seems the cloak of feather. Okay, I don't know what to say about that. But Jack, if you'd like, you can go retrieve your items. Elias, you think that Jack would be quite helpful in helping draw some of these diagrams in the book, though. Did you want to ask him when he comes back after he's more clothed? I assume you would. Thrust. Yeah. Okay. Before. Yes. Touching or distances, give or 6 or 10 inches. I don't know. But. That was the stage complete. All right. Mr. Jeeves, you see Elias begin to draw concentric circles around the pool and intricate, detailed drawings outside of them. As he's doing so, you look down at the unmoving, still, calm face of Alexandra. Once again, your friend has passed from life to death. And then Jack gets back with all of his belongings. Jack, Elias shows you the book and points out a few intricate details. You think that you could be more helpful in these. I assume you transformed back to your human form a long time ago when you started to speak to people. And then you assist Elias in completing the ritual here. Elias, you spend quite a bit of time praying once all the preparations are made to undo the curse that has fallen on this land. You feel, after what seems to be for 3 hours or so of constant meditation and prayer, that this place has become pure. You think that the lands outside it and all that were connected to it are now no longer a domain of Strahd von Zarovich. His taint has left this building and the lands that surround it. Anything connected to it, he has now lost power directly because of what you have done here this day. You feel that Strahd's influence over the land has been weakened due to your efforts. You don't know. Perhaps if you were to study this tomb longer, you may. Yes, the tome. I say it wrong. I'm sorry. This is the melee chasm of this campaign, Mark. Do you? Okay, so it's not just me. Okay, thank you. I know it's wrong, but I say it anyway. It just naturally flies. The poop flies out of my mouth on accident. I know it's wrong. I absolutely do. I know it's tome, not tomb. But I read it that way and it just comes out. I'm sorry. It's not melee, it's melee. It's not chasm, it's chasm. But god damn it. I can't I don't know. Like in the moment, I mess it up. Yes, no, you feel it. You feel this feeling of peace wash over you as the land becomes more natural. All right, and as soon as you do feel this weight lifted off of the land, you also notice that the door on the far side of this room opens up to you, and pale daylight shines on the other side. It seems as if the sun may be setting soon. The woods are on the other side of this door. All right. Well, we have an opportunity here to end for the night. I at least want a little break. But, man, just out of character for a moment. I'm sorry, April, that you died twice tonight. That was the last thing that I expected to happen. I wanted you to have your whip moment where you get to whip across the gap and pull the lever to let your friends across. No, it's too far for Brent to do. But you could have done it with your whip. I'm sorry. I know you look forward to this every week so much, and then you just end up falling to your death. But I'm sorry. I'm going to take a bit of a break, and then if you guys want to continue, just discussion among yourselves, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to take a short DM moment with just a one-on-one with April for a moment. So I'm leaving this chat. I'll be back soon. Hey, okay, this is being recorded, so everyone will know our conversation soon. First of all, I'm sorry that your character died. But now that that's happened, would you like to hope that they resurrect you, or are you working on character number 2? What's your intention? Okay, so is that I want Alexander resurrected again? Okay. Alright, well, I can't make that happen. That's up to your fellows, what they do with your body. But at least I know now what you want. And maybe I can, I don't know, influence them some way. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm sorry. I did not expect it to go that way. I did not think that you were going to try to make that jump. Well, okay. Let's go back to the other chat. Alright, I'm back. Yes. Alright, so you guys are in the place with the open door in front of you. Do you want to continue or call it a night? We've gone 2 hours and 15 minutes. No. They look like they would be useful for Castlevania canon when he had both of his horns when he was pursuing the other Belmonts in the future. With the back half of it burned off. Yes, the back half of it's missing because Jack burned it off with acid. Yeah, that sprite, I drew the back half of that. That's all me. But, you know, if this is a good stopping point, that's fine. What are your intentions to do, like, next? What can we expect next game? As in we, the DM, and Alexandra with her dead corpse. What are you going to try to do? You're in the swamps. Alright. Well, assuming there's still a town there, what are you going to do with Alexandra's body? Yes, the Abbey of St. Markovia. That's what you're trying to recall. Brent, roll a religion check. You're terrible, buddy. Terrible. Oh, man. Jeeves, why not? Jeeves, give me a religion check. It can't be worse than this. Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, no, that's Alexandra. Alexandra, you can't roll dice. You're dead. Mark, are you here with us? All right, fine. I don't think that. That's fine. Go ahead, re-roll a religion check, Jack. 19, excellent. See, that's all that we needed tonight. Okay, let me see. Let me phrase this appropriately. Let me think for a second. Well, I have a problem pronouncing a certain word, and I don't want to get called out on that again tonight. Well, it's no, it's long, but it's Longingus, I think. Right. Yes, that was the proper name. The surname was Markovia. Jack, you remember that Longinus? Is that my saying it right? Longinus? Longinus Markovia was a religious figure that you recognize. And this is a name that is not unknown to you now that Elias has decoded enough of Strahd's tome. I'm doing it to folks now. That's me. I did that. I'm corrupting people with my bad language. So your next move is Valaki or Kresk, or the Abbey of Saint Markovia is the final destination here. What is the goal here? Where are you traveling next? Did the map not show up on everybody's screen? Yes. Okay, so it looks like Valaki would be the shortest route. Van Richten's Tower would be somewhere in between, and then Kresk would be the longest route. Roll a... It's not really Arcana, because it's a religious spell. Brent, roll a wisdom check. Brent, you think that it really won't matter if you're going directly to Kresk, even if you make a short stop at Valaki, that a spell's not needed to resurrect Alexandra's body as long as she doesn't really start decaying. The amount of travel we're talking here isn't any more than a day, even at the longest point. So you can make it to wherever you wish to do so within the day. Well, out of character it does. In character... Silent as the mouths of the dead, then. I would very much like to hear Jeeves' opinion on all this. So bypassing Valaki completely? She didn't. You gave her what she wanted. She wanted this place purified, and it's done. Mark? Alright, that sounds Sounds like everyone's in agreement then. I think that was Mark's suggestion. Mr. Jeeves was the first to suggest to go there. Guys, you talked the mayor out of burning anyone but one person. Why are you so... Like, I feel I'm missing out on something. To see many... Yes, to watch many people burn at the stake for being witches. Yeah. Yeah, she wanted to see witches burn. Well, a certain book was left with many names, but you guys all heroically convinced the mayor to only burn one person. That was a specific agenda of yours. Exactly. Time will tell. All right. So, I have a little bit of time left. If you guys wanted to continue, or we could wrap it up tonight. It's totally up to you. I don't know it. Well, Brent, you specifically said cut it off now, so I'll leave it up to you. What do you want to do? Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, maybe then we should just best cut it off now. Mark, what do you think? 30 more minutes? What was that? English? I didn't understand it. Maybe 10 more minutes? Okay. Man, this late. You're in the same time zone as I am. Oh. That sounds like a perfect cue for us to pick this up next week. Alright, my friend. Well, when you exit the temple, you find the marsh, and then eventually you get back to the ruins of the old, destroyed and overtaken by the marsh ruins of Berez. You see the same structures that you saw last time that you were there. Yes, the monument is the very first thing that you encounter. Did we want to address the monument now or wait until next week? It looks like the monument's clear of the corpses that were following you, that were impregnated with all of the venomous snakes last time. You don't see those enemies at the moment. Yeah, at a distance, it looks like the same monument that you last left. There's nothing particularly interesting about it unless you approach it. Okay, you approach the monument. Is there anything you would like to do with it? Yes, last time that you touched the monument, it seemed to have triggered a group of undead that wanted to attack you. This time, it looks like that group may no longer be present in the immediate area. Instead, nothing happens. The monument is bare to your exploration. What would you like to do? Yes. Exactly. As soon as you touch the rose, you find that the rose actually has some kind of mechanical component to it. It moves when you press it down. And when you press the rose down, a compartment opens beneath it, revealing to you a certain item. It looks like it's the head of a lance. You think that this lance If you were to attach this head to the end of a lance, it might be a powerful weapon. You feel a holiness when you hold this in your hands. Its tip is slightly stained with red blood. It's not even required. The moment that you hold it, you understand completely the religious significance of this lance. I'm sorry, I'm getting some lag on my end. That might not have come through as clearly as it did for everyone else. Okay. Alright. It sounds like a good place to wrap it up then, especially because my stuff's lagging out. Okay, well, I hope that I wish I could say everyone had a great time, but Alexander died again. Damn it. Not what I intended as a dungeon master, but Longinus. Longini? Longinus. Lancia Longini. Sure. Longini. Linguini. Yeah, but what happens when that one person's not there to do their part? Yeah, but I did not expect it to go that way. I'm just saying. Oh, I gotta kill this bot. I think it might be hurting my bandwidth, because I can't hear anybody. I'll kill it. Yeah, I guess one death is better than everyone. Well, I think Jack is probably the best for taking a lot of damage and then surviving, healing from it, and escaping. So you could probably get out just fine. But everyone else that can bleed and die, Yes, you leaving wouldn't exactly save everyone, though. Yeah, but what do you do with a bunch of corpses? Right. I am surprised. I am so surprised that it could not. I should have messed its stats up a bit more, but I didn't want to screw everybody else over. I just have to say that Elias has an insane armor class. Yeah, mechanically speaking, like this thing has an attack and it's at a +6. So I would have thought that normally it would be able to get that attack down and knock someone down and trample all over them. But our paladin happens to have an amazing armor class and just used his shield to deflect everything. Uh, I, no one else could have done what Elias did tonight to survive the behemoth. Yeah, Elias the meat wall. Wall meat, meat the meat wall. Alright. Minkskin Boo. Yes. I know. I love you all. You're kindred spirits, all of you. Oh, I never finished. It's so good. Skip it. Go get Divinity Original Sin or Divinity 2. I wish I could talk to Mark more about that, but he's gotta go. That manager. What now? Yeah. Is that Mana's art? What your profile picture is? Oh, I had no idea. I All right. Brent, do you want one more awesome picture of what you just found? All right. I'll go ahead and I'll do it this week instead of next week. There it is. Yes, actually, this is a holy relic that exists today, but before it finds its way in history, it will find its way in this campaign. No Excalibur in this game, sorry. I will say that there is at least one more badass weapon to find, and Alexandra was meant to find it, but I don't know if she's gonna make it back. That's up to you guys. It's up to you if you try to bring her back or put her in the ground. Well, death didn't make an appearance yet, so you're not sure if that's something you can count on every time a character dies. Right, who's Dracula? No one's ever heard of this guy.
Did you seriously drink that whole case of beer?
Yes.
Why?
Mm.
Dude.
All right. Well,
You're not getting any more. Ever.
no, but I can open it back up. What's up? Oh, let me share this back so it ends up on YouTube. You shrunk it though. You shrunk it to make it little. Okay. Hey, I know I said this at the beginning, but Mario Santos, aka the plot twist, aka EM Pixel, I believe, on DeviantArt, he is making Umbra of Shadows. He's an excellent pixel artist, and he made all of the sprites for your characters. He made them specifically for you. So all of these character sprites were made with you in mind, based off of your initial concept art from all the stuff we found. So, right, I hope that you guys really enjoy this art. Cheers to Mr. To Mario. It's awesome that he provided this for us. Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, that cape looks perfect, doesn't it? Yeah, it is, man. It's awesome. I'll send everyone their art. Maybe even include a little bonus extra piece in there. And yeah, I thought that it's been long enough since we've had a very Castlevania moment for the campaign. I thought it was overdue. So we have the Behemoth Run. Well, you did, and the others fell to their death. I'm sorry. That. Yeah, thanks. That's all me. And I tried to measure everything out to equal everyone's powers. I thought that, first of all, I thought that Mark would have been using his rogue ability to do an extra dash every move. So I thought he would have been able to move an extra bit of movement. That didn't happen. I thought that no one would try to make a jump that they obviously couldn't make. That obviously didn't happen. I knew that the Raven could fly and fit in between the small area, turn back into a person to pull the lever, or at least hybrid, and then continue to fly on and do things. That all went different than I thought. And I thought that if the Behemoth caught up to anyone, it would jack them up, and that went different than I thought. So, as always, as it always happens in D&D, the players completely just blow the expectations out of the water for whatever the DM thinks might happen, and it does their own thing. Just for the record, though, you could have gone through this whole thing without taking a single bit of trouble. Delaying your turns whenever it comes to someone else to be able to do their special thing and letting them shine would have been good. But it was like, let me just get to the edge of everything first and just not be able to do anything. Mm-hmm. No, and that's fine. That's part of what I wanted to convey was like maybe you shouldn't hold your turns, but I did mention holding your turns early, and I didn't want to push. Like I didn't want to say, okay, this is what you're supposed to do to get through this, and that's one of the big things that pushed April's death was she on her turn she said I want to try and jump it, and I was like, maybe you might not want to do that, and she was like, no, I want to jump it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I made sure to specifically say that. And I'm sorry that I wasn't more clear about it. I don't know, man. Like I feel bad when a player dies, but when that mistake was made, I gave you like a second chance to say no, don't do it, but you said do it again the second time, and I let it happen, and then I was like, shit, she's falling to her death right now. There's nothing I can do. And then Brent said, well, maybe Jeeves can catch her. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Oh, thank God. Yeah, that's a great idea. So I gave Jeeves the opportunity, and he rolled basically 3 times to catch you, and I let the third one catch. Because he failed first, but then I said roll it with advantage. So he rolled it again, but he rolled it with advantage on the advantage. So he basically rolled it 3 times. It dropped a 9, and it let you grab it on a 20. But because of that third roll, I thought it was only appropriate to give you a chance to make the final decision if you leave it up to your dice roll if it's you dying or not. And that ended up with you rolling a natural 1. Yeah, I don't feel like I did anything unfair here. I feel bad that you died, but I don't feel that it's my fault. I think it's the dice's fault, and it's your decision that did it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Are you almost done?
Yes, I'm almost done, dear. Yeah, I gotta go. See you guys later. All right. Good night, everybody. Love you all, and I'll see you next week.